Good morning, Dave Walls. Good morning, Kathy Kokis.
Good morning.
Morning. So we're up to 110 attendees, Dave, if you want to start.
Okay. Well, good morning or afternoon, depending on where everybody is at in the country right now. My name is David Walls, and I am the Deputy for Small Business Programs here at the Naval Undersea Warfare Center, Division Keyport. And I want to welcome you all to our 2020 Virtual Industry Day. We're happy you're taking time out of your busy day to join us for the next hour to learn more about the NUWC Keyport and also NSLC Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. This is the first of 6 industry engagements that we're going to be providing. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to be providing an overview of the different departments at Keyport. And today we're going to kick off with an overview of Keyport and then, like I said, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Before I introduce our speakers today, I want to establish some ground rules for today's event. I'll be monitoring a chat space. So if you have any questions for our panelists today, please start your question with the word question or put a question mark before you put your question out there. That way, we can easily identify a question over just a general comment. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our first two speakers. We have Captain John Moretti, Commander of NUWC Division Keyport, and Dr. Martin Irvin, Jr., the Technical Director of NUWC Division Keyport. Captain John Moretti became the commanding officer at NUWC Division Keyport in October of 2018. He's a career submarine officer whose previous assignments included services on fast attack and Trident submarines, command of the USS Henry M. Jackson, Pentagon budget experience, acquisition experience for advanced undersea systems, and the Virginia-class program. As commanding officer, Captain Moretti is a senior military member of NUWC Keyport and is responsible for all aspects of the organization's climate and operations. Also, Dr. Martin Irvin currently serves as the technical director of the Naval Undersea Warfare Center, Division Keyport. And his duties include the oversight of research, development, test, and evaluation in service engineering, maintenance and repair, fleet support, and industrial base support for undersea warfare systems, countermeasures, and sonar systems. He directs NUWC Division Keyport's operations at a number of remote facilities located throughout the United States and overseas. Dr. Irvin was selected for appointment into the Senior Executive Service in July 2019, and he has 21 years of service as a civil servant for the U.S. Navy. So at this time, I'm going to pull up the slide decks, and we'll let Captain Moretti and Dr. Irvin take it away.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. Yeah, so this Captain Moretti, I'll be giving you the command overview of Naval Undersea Warfare Center Division Keyport. Next slide.
All right, hold on one second. I'm trying to get the slides up
No
there.
worries.
Stand by. There we go.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone that's joining us for Industry Day. Industry pays, a specific incredible value to the undersea domain. We want to give you just a little bit of who we are, what our vision is going forward, the capabilities that we have, and assistance that we need in order to provide capability to the warfighter.
So real quick, are the slide decks still on? I'm sorry, I had a little glitch.
No.
Okay, stand by.
Yep, no worries. We'll work through this.
Okay, Captain Moretti, are we on slide 3 at this time?
Slide 2, who we are. So Keyport has 115 years of undersea expertise, focused on undersea weapons. So we have 2 of the 3 heavyweight IMAs, one here at Keyport, the other one at Pearl Harbor. We're the nation's only lightweight IMA and have the nation's only torpedo depot. We're focused on unmanned undersea vehicles and payloads. We're co-located with UUV-RON, the Navy's only undersea department, and then also do undersea warfare test and evaluation using our ranges, focus on sustainment engineering, going forward, shipyard innovation, DoD experts in obsolescence management, and then when obsolescence management fails, we have a custom engineered solutions. We're strategically located in Mechanicsburg with NSLC, Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, San Diego, California. We have our mines in Hawthorne, Nevada, and then forward deployed forces in Guam and Japan. We also have global partnerships because of our IMAs and depot-related functions. So we're internationally connected. We conduct training courses here locally and then support the IMAs in various countries around the world. Next slide. So Keyport is part of 10 different warfare centers. As you see here, we're the only one in the Pacific Northwest. However, we have a one-team approach with all the warfare centers. We assist each other, do collaboration with our investments, and then reach out for funding and support to all the warfare centers. If you go through Keyport, you're also working through the 10 different warfare centers across the nation. Our mission, vision, and history. Our vision is to expand America's undersea dominance. So we started here in the Pacific Northwest in 1914, doing torpedo repair and torpedo training school. During World War II, we're a major center for production of torpedoes and testing. We had the first acoustic test range up here in 1944 and the first 3D range in 1956 in the Daybob area. We transitioned in the 70s to Naval Undersea Warfare Center Engineering Station, continued to grow the test and evaluation functions, and improve recovery techniques of torpedoes. We became a Naval Undersea Warfare Center in 1992 and continue the support and test and evaluation, moving towards autonomous underwater systems and custom engineered solutions. Our core equities are on the left, and we'll talk about those as we continue through the presentation. Command structure, led by myself and the TD. We have a fantastic support staff. We have our own contracting department here, as well as legal counsel, which helps the technical departments and contracts facilitate contracting to our industry partners. And then we have 4 technical departments, including test and evaluation, engineering maintenance, and industrial operations, the customer advocacy, and in-service engineering. On the right, our NAVC, Naval Sea Logistics Centers led by Captain Shane Brown, and then Beth Warner will give the brief for NSLC going forward. And then we have 2 detachments, one in Pearl Harbor, our Pacific detachment, and the other one down in San Diego. Capabilities in order to expand America's undersea dominance is based on excellence in execution. So the 3 major areas that we have are crown jewels, or undersea weapons and targets. So advanced undersea weapons R&D. So it's the R&D support to our industry partners as we bring out new capabilities. We test those, do the operational testing, developmental testing, and then also with other Navy components such as ONR and DARPA out on our ranges. So we have 2 ranges, or 3 ranges, 2 instrumented, and then one that's deep water uninstrumented range. With the co-location of the UUV-RON, we have a growing area of work in unmanned and undersea vehicles where we're testing. UUV-RON is testing these new vehicles, and then also using our ranges to do developmental testing from our industry partners. Prototype and custom engineered solutions. So we use data science and analytics to do obsolescence management for the Navy and the DoD. And if those fail, then we have the ability to engineer solutions for material readiness. For example, NAVAIR had a failure in one of their gyros that was a mechanical system. They were unable to find any support for those components. And then we're able to use our industry partners and our local expertise in order to re-engineer that into a solid state, which provides increased flexibility at a lower cost that's more precise location. We also use this system to do reverse engineering redesign, and then also part of this is the depot to support the undersea domain. Data science and data analytics is an area that we're focusing our efforts going forward in order to make data-driven solutions. We'll need additional industry support as we build up our expertise and as we go forward to modernize our base, modernize our processes, and modernize the systems that we have. Also, we're in close coordination with the shipyards and PMS 555 as they do shipyard maintenance and innovation, and they upgrade their infrastructure. They find where there's some issues in getting ships and submarines out to sea, ways that we can improve processes. We can insert technology, test new technology, or change the configuration of the shipyards in order to improve the throughput through industrial engineering and realignment of the functions inside the shipyard. So this is a major thrust for us going forward to help NAWC with their goal of improving the delivery of ships and submarines to the fleet. Also, as it becomes, our adversaries put more quiet submarines out to sea, theater undersea warfare is a major challenge going forward. So any ways that we can combine the different data sources, because hunting submarines is a team event, from ships, aircraft, arrays that are on the bottom, and submarines, integrating all that data together on the carrier or shore sites helps us to advance our undersea dominance. So the biggest thing is to be aligned, to be better, faster, more efficient using technology, improved data analytics, and upgrade our business processes using industry products that are off the shelf. Next. NSLC is going to talk about their capabilities, so I'll leave that to Beth and her team. Ranges and strategic locations, we touched on this a bit. So on the left-hand side, we're up at Keyport. Obviously, we have a contingent out in Bangor for our weapons, and then also our environmental test sites. The location in Hawthorne, Nevada does primarily mines as well as some DMIL abilities. And then San Diego, fleet support, as well as helping with threat emulators for exercises and fleet testing. And we have the IMA out in Pearl Harbor, which additionally does fleet support out there, and then forward deployed in Guam and Japan as we push high intensity training for the forward deployed forces so they don't have to come back to the US or Hawaii in order to become certified. On the right hand side, those primary, the large footprints for NSLC being in Mechanicsburg and supporting Portsmouth, Indian Head, Norfolk, and Mayport. Next. As I spoke of the ranges, so we have the range right outside of Keyport Base up here in the Pacific Northwest. And then day bobside is an instrumented range, approximately 600 feet deep with 6 nautical miles. That's also used by our strategic forces. So we do that primarily for R&D. We have an international agreement with Canada up in our NUWC site, which is about 60 nautical miles, 1,200 feet deep, instrumented, that we use for R&D developmental testing. And then we have an open ocean range out on the west side of Washington, Quinault site, that is not instrumented. So we have 2 YTTs up here that have torpedo tubes that we can launch either subsurface torpedoes, heavyweight torpedoes, or launch from the top of the vessel, much like a surface ship would launch. And then we also support aircraft launches on our ranges, specifically up at NUWC And then we have various recovery vessels and torpedo retrievers that we're responsible for. So the ranges, a big push of the ranges is for us to, we're looking at the range of the future. There haven't been many developments in ranges for the last 30 years or so, and we're looking to reduce the cost of operation and the maintenance of the ranges, and then allow some scalability of the ranges based upon new systems that are coming on board, be it autonomous systems. How do we test those? Long duration, large dwell time, UUVs. We don't have the infrastructure now, and we're looking for industry partners to help us identify some ways for us to do that type of testing going forward as we bring the new systems online. Customers, so slide 10. Through Keyport, we have approximately $600 million. NUWC is our primary customer. So if you look around the star there, and to the left-hand side, the top with PEO subs, us being an undersea warfare center, is our largest customer. The Navy is the top portion there, which is the vast majority. And then we also support primarily through obsolescence and private party agreements, the DoD, Army, Air Force, and other non-DoD sources. So new funds each year is approximately $400 million, and then $80 million going to direct site. Next, as we move forward, the biggest gains that we'll have is, and our main thrust of business is to bring the bridge technology from industry to the warfighter through integration on platforms, development and implementation of new training systems. So AR, VR is one thing that we're bringing forward in order to drive down the costs of training. As I spoke about, the integration of data sciences, so integrating the best practices of suite as we go towards in-service engineering, where now we have to send SMEs out on ships. What we've seen during the COVID crisis due to the travel restrictions is there's been a rapid adoption of technologies and using either industry or our dispersed workforce in order to provide the SME to the warfighter on the deck plate using video or chat, where before we'd have to send someone 3,000 miles in order to perform some troubleshooting. So it's really accelerated the ISEA of the future. Also, as we've all seen, as we transition to more data-centric systems, and cybersecurity is becoming more important going forward, so increasing the cyber hygiene against the threats against our systems as well as our supply chains. And then sensor aggregation, as we spoke about, that's what the future is, making sure that the new systems that we have can speak to one another, that we can aggregate them across all the different platforms that we have in order to, one, help with RDT&E on our ranges, and then as we bring the fight forward. Other technical innovations that we have, you may be hearing more, if you haven't heard it already, about our Northwest Tech Bridge. So this is a program that we're just starting to ramp up, where we're combining industry with academia as well as DoD sources in order to share information, have collaborative spaces, to use the reach. There's now 12 tech bridges across the US to find solutions to difficult problems in the shortest amount of time. So I just ask that you keep your ear to the ground on Tech Bridge. It's a great thing to plug into as industry, and it's going to be one of the primary modes that we have to bring our problems to industry going forward. We also have local, regional, and national relationships with industry through the national labs and academia, and deeply involved in STEM to making sure that both we and industry have the workforce, the trained workforce that we need going into the future. We also have patent attorneys on station to help us through orders, and then also to provide the intellectual protection that we need for the different technologies that are developed jointly with industry. This year, we just started up and we have 11 patents with a goal of having 50 patents through this year. Next. As well as technical innovation, we're interested in business innovation. So we're developing property management, finding better ways to improve the timeliness of the requests, the delivery of things that we order. Also looking to improve business processes because although technology advancements are important, if we can improve our business processes, then we can become more efficient, spend less money on overhead, and we're able to provide more deliverables to the fleet. So, the upgrades of business processes, lessons learned from industry, and lessons learned from other DoD partners are helping us to improve our business processes across. Finally, partnerships and collaboration. We have strong recruiting relationships, outreach through senior design projects, working with educational partnerships across the Pacific Northwest, going from Montana, Alaska, down to Penn State to the east, and then reaching down into California. Developing research programs with Washington State University campus, and then also working on autonomy with University of New Hampshire. And just, in increasing the communications and collisions that we have with industry, with our academia, with a push to have economic development across the U.S., and then also focusing on STEM and workforce development locally. So we have a local flavor with a national impact. And then just the final bumper sticker, focus on undersea weapons, unmanned vehicles, and payloads as we bring these to the fleet. Crown jewels or test and evaluation ranges that we have with expertise in sustainment engineering, obsolescence management, and finding ways to bridge technology and bring it into the fleet. And pending your questions, that's all I have. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Captain. We do have a couple questions here. Okay.
Dave, while you're looking for those, I just launched the poll to see who is here.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Hey,
Captain,
Dave.
The first question is coming from one of the members in the audience. It says, as a digital engineering service company, how can we get involved in the custom engineering that was mentioned during the brief?
Yeah, I appreciate the question. I would reach out to Dave, and he can put you in contact with the individuals that we have here. Yeah, I think it's important that that, and I've been pushing this to break away from the not invented here, and in order to find solutions to solve problems as quickly as possible. So if there's people out there in industry that has the expertise, I know it's been a big push of Secretary Gertz to involve industry as much as we can, especially with the COVID crisis that's ongoing. And any way that we can find or have a problem, find a solution, and get that solution to the fleet quickest is what my priority is here at Keyport. So I'd reach out to Dave Walls. Over.
Great, thank you, Captain. Here's another question. It says, if a small business had issued patents and patent applications addressing applications of machine learning and big data analytics to Navy missions planning, prediction of fatigue life of additively manufactured components, what would be an appropriate approach for presenting our materials to the Naval Undersea Warfare Center in Keyport for the purpose of requesting feedback? My company will be looking to adapt our machine learning and big data technology to suit your needs.
Yeah, that's a great question, as well as far as, what's the best way to present things. I would say reach out to the tech bridge. There's some, I know that we're setting up, business days, presentation days, to put out, hey, this is what local companies or national companies have to offer. Which one, it improves the knowledge of our workforce, makes us understand, or allows us to understand, what's available out there. Because oftentimes that's the biggest challenge that we have, is we have a problem, but we don't know who has the answer to that solution. And if the individuals don't go and look at the contracts or the RFIs, then we don't have, insight into what solutions they can provide. So I think reach out to the tech bridge. Again, Dave can help out with that to answer some questions and give you a plug-in to our tech bridge concept. Over.
Great. Hey, Dave, this is Marty. I'd like to add in real quick too. We do have to be cautious in that case there, where we're not really in the business of reviewing somebody else's IP or their patents or those types of things to provide them feedback, which could be potentially perceived as endorsement of a particular specific capability, especially if we go out and compete out looking for those types of capabilities. So we have to be cautious. I will hammer on what the captain just said. We're going to have the follow-on industry days that are more specifically focused at Dave that you're running, and that would I think will be a great point of ingress for those POCs who will be working in those specific areas. And as we mentioned, right, Dave, is a great point of entry to connect the dots as well. Over. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Captain and Dr. Irvin. Another question, can you please provide additional info on the 50,000-hour barrier removal effort?
Yeah, so that's an effort that we're having here to find things that are non-value added steps, because there's no reason to, make a non-required step more efficient. So we're finding those barriers that are slowing people down and removing those items, or through business innovation, finding ways to automate things in order to free up time for our workforce. So we have a goal, and I'll just give you an example, a quick example. Like we had it where everyone had to badge in. So if there were 10 people waiting to get through a door, and you knew those 10 people just went from one meeting to another, we had a local policy where every person had to badge in, which made no sense. So we changed the policy. So now if you know everyone, you can just open the door for other people. Now that's a small one. The other thing is, hey, we used to have property passes, and everyone would have to have a property pass. We'd route that thing around. We'd have to get 6 signatures on it. And now we automated that process. It's web-based. It tracks your property passes for the equipment that you have. And when it comes due, it verifies that you still have it, and it routes it to a supervisor for signature. where before we would have to spend hundreds of man hours tracking these things down. And now with just a little bit of technology to improve a business process, we're able to save those hours. Over.
Thank you, Captain. All right, that's going to finish up the NUWC Keyport portion of the overview. If you have any other questions or concerns that you didn't provide in the chat, you can always connect with me, and I'll do my best to answer, or I could reach out to the people who can answer that the best. But Captain Moretti and Dr. Irvin, thank you so much for your time and just the presentation. So at this time,
hey, Dave, I might get ready to punch out, but I just wanted to take a opportunity, and I've got everybody here, just to say a quick few words. I want to thank you all for participating, and this is kind of a new way of doing this type of engagement. So we appreciate your patience and your adaptability to this. And for us at Keyport, and really across the Navy, we recognize that there's a need for strong partnership with industry. We cannot do it all ourselves within the government, nor should we, right? We should be leveraging your strengths that are complementary to us, right? And that's important for us going forward. So I appreciate everybody coming today and already thinking about these ideas of things that are going to help us move forward, specifically at Keyport, but the Navy as a whole. So I really appreciate that. Thank you all for making your time. Over.
Thank you, Dr. Irvin. All right, at this time, we're going to go ahead and transition to NSLC.
The Naval Sea Logistics Center is open for business. NSLC provides speedy and dedicated logistics support in order to keep the fleet operating and on mission. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we supplied 10,000 N95 face masks to the USNS Comfort and 3,000 N95 masks to Navy Installations Command. We are committed to overcoming the challenges presented by the pandemic in order to continue supplying our warfighters with the tools and equipment they need to stay on the tip of the spear.
Right, our next set of speakers are from NSLC Mechanicsburg in Pennsylvania. We have Ms. Beth Warner and Mr. Frank Dugan. Ms. Warner was selected as the senior civilian for the Naval Sea Logistics Center in March 2020 and is responsible for maintaining the health of all technical programs, including logistics, management, engineering, and information technology operations, as well as strategic planning, resource management, and program execution. She directs operations at several remote facilities throughout the United States, including warehouse operations at each NAVSEA Warfare Center. Mr. Frank Dugan is the Contracts Department Director at the Naval Sea Logistics Center and has 34 years of experience in DLA, NAVSEA, and NAV subcontracting, with more than 25 years of experience in service contracting in those organizations. With 9 years serving as a member of the command leadership team, he has provided assistance in strategic planning and contract execution. So at this time, I would like to welcome our next set of speakers, and you have the floor, Ms. Warner.
Great, thanks so much, Dave. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Beth Warner, as you said, and I'm the Senior Civilian for Naval Sea Logistics Center. We are an Echelon 5 activity led by a commanding officer and a senior civilian, and we're aligned to NUWC Division Keyport as our immediate superior in command. Our two organizations have different technical missions, but we enjoy a collaborative relationship where those missions cross, and they are our direct service provider for human resources and simplified acquisition contracting. And again, joining me today is our contracting officer, Frank Dugan. We are headquartered in Mechanicsburg, PA, but we operate in 15 states and 35 locations. Approximately 28% of our total workforce is contractor personnel, and our annual contract obligation amount is approximately $20 million. Next slide, please. NAVC LogScent is responsible for developing, maintaining, and assessing lifecycle logistics support policies, procedures, products, and data systems as NAVC's technical agent. In doing so, we provide the logistics foundation required to implement cost-effective lifecycle logistics and maintenance support solutions for NAVC's acquisition and sustainment program offices, warfare centers, and fleet units. We have a broad product portfolio that encompasses lifecycle logistics, maintenance and technical support, material management, model-based product support, information technology, and corporate operations. Our lifecycle support portfolio includes the development and implementation of product support strategies to ensure supportability is considered throughout the system lifecycle and balances the performance outcomes of reliability, availability, maintainability, and reduced total ownership costs. We perform spares modeling or readiness-based sparing to track and to achieve operational availability and cost goals for systems, ships, and submarines using the Navy Common Readiness Model of the Model-Based Product Support Program. We are NAVC's maritime allowance and outfitting review activity and serve as the central functional coordinating activity for outfitting programs and processes to provide outfitting parts validation and cost avoidance to Navy accounts. Like Keyport, we also view a strong data analytics capability as an imperative to the products and services we provide. Additionally, we perform integrated logistics assessments, our ILAs, to help ensure an impartial evaluation of program status, providing program managers, program logisticians, and ultimately the warfighting commands and the milestone decision authority with confidence in the integrated logistics support planning and implementation. Our integrated logistics support certifications team performs validations used to ensure that all ILS products are available to support the installation and checkout of systems and equipment slated to go on board ships and submarines associated with engineering changes, field changes, MAC-alts, and ORDALTs. Accurate configuration data is the backbone of Navy logistics. As the configuration data manager for various fleet and shore assets, we process both ship and shore submarine submitted configuration changes and site equipment validations, including IUID marking. Model-based product support is an emerging business area for all of us. The Navy's current logistics data systems that provide configuration management, provisioning, readiness modeling, and technical data management support for ships and weapon systems are outdated and are being rationalized into MBPS. The three main components of MBPS is NDART, which is Common Data Standards, Requirements, and Acquisition Approaches to Procure Technical and Product Data. NPDM, Configuration Management, Sustainment, and provides enterprise access to all components of legacy and future standards-based Navy weapon system technical data packages. And finally, NCRM, which we use to analyze, report, predict, and optimize weapon system readiness and O&S costs throughout the life cycle. Moving on to the maintenance and technical side, every minute of every day, there's a sailor or Marine maintaining his equipment utilizing the planned maintenance system. We are the NAVC designated planned maintenance system coordinating activity and service over 1,900 activities, including Navy, Coast Guard, Marine Corps, FMS, and shore activities. Our customer base includes in-service fleet, new construction, FMS for foreign military sales, and shore activities with quarterly PMS force revisions, reliability-centered maintenance analysis, and project management of PMS system workflow for NAVC. We are heavily integrated in NAVC's plan to execute the future of PMS, which links maintenance plans to ships configuration records and provides real-time updates and transparency of PMS accomplishments. We are also the technical authority for the Level 1 Subsafe Stock Program, and we process DLA 339 and NAVSUP technical engineering and procurement referrals. Our supplier performance information systems support a customer base that includes the Navy, Joint Services, Department of Defense, as well as federal and civil agencies. These government-wide supplier performance systems include the Product Data Reporting and Evaluation Program, or PDREP. That system supports requirements for reporting, collection, analysis, and distribution of supplier performance and product quality information. We also support the Contractor Performance Assessment Reporting System, or CPARS. It's the single federal government-wide information system for processing and collecting contractor performance information. And then finally, Supplier Performance Risk System, or SPRS, which is a web-enabled Department of Defense enterprise application that compiles, processes, and displays data about the performance of contractors and suppliers for supply contracts valued at less than or equal to $1 million. Supplier performance systems are included in a total of over 20 IT systems that we support for Navy, DoD, and federal government. We're responsible for all facets of the software development lifecycle, including requirements gathering, software development, configuration management, and system sustainment, system accreditation, and data center hosting. We manage systems in standard capacity services data centers and are in the process of migrating to DoD and commercial cloud hosting. Some of the additional systems we manage include Navy's digital transformation efforts to align legacy IT support systems to a cloud-based COT solution that replaces current command technical data systems. Those are 10 of those systems that we manage will be integrated into a single enterprise cloud-based solution. We've got 5 systems under outfitting and analysis. That includes the budget planning system, interactive computer-aided provisioning system, ICAPS, which is used to develop parts lists for all equipment in the fleet, and is the primary application for populating and updating supply-related technical data in Navy ERP. ORCUS, which is the outfitting requisition and control system, which tracks and validates ships' outfitting requisitions and manages review desk functions. Parts, which is a database to record and track PSD and acts as the primary source for Navy material support dates. And then finally, ROMIS, and that manages allowances, generates orders, provides inventory control, and tracks disposal of equipment and materials in support of Navy and MSC ships during construction and maintenance. We have 2 systems under planned maintenance. That's the ship's 3M historical database, which is the critical authoritative central Navy maritime resource for supporting reliability and maintainability analysis. And then PMS-MIS, which is used by commodity specialists here at NAWC LogSen and in-service engineers at Naval Warfare Centers to develop maintenance and help customers. We also have systems that support Navy Special Emphasis Program, like EIS, our Engineering Information System, and TDP, the Technical Data Package software. These modules process records that can be identify the Naval Special Emphasis Program material, like Level 1 subsafe, fly-by-wire ship control systems, and DSSOC, or Deep Submergent System scope of certification. We also process engineering referrals and DLA 339 engineering referrals through our ESRS engineering support request system. On the material management side, we perform a full range of warehouse operations functions for the Warfare Center Operating Materials and Supplies, or OM&S. This is our largest single portfolio and includes fire, audit, and compliance activities. And finally, we perform a variety of business functions and corporate operations and have requirements in strategy, development, strategic communications, technical writing, facility, and infrastructure support. We're going to transition to the more detailed contracting discussion. I'll just give you a little overview, and then Frank will take over on the specifics. We currently have 8 large dollar value service contract actions that support our command's technical codes and operations. In addition, we have a small number of simplified acquisition requirements each year. Our contracting department manages all of our large dollar value contract actions. Our simplified acquisition requirements are processed by NUWC Division Keyport's contracting department. All 8 of our current large dollar value contract actions for services are held by small businesses. 6 of the 8 are task orders that we were issued competitively using the NAICS portal. The other 2 are sole source direct awards under the Small Business Administration Section 8A program. In addition to these current contract actions, NAVC LogSend has 9 planned large dollar value service contract actions that Frank will discuss later on. All of these will be set aside for small businesses. Our current and planned contract actions provide support for material management, logistics, engineering, command operations, and information technology system support. Now, I think I'm going to turn it over to Frank, and he is going to be able to take you through the detailed SeaPort task orders.
Thank you, Ms. Warner. And Frank, if you can go ahead and talk about some of your orders.
Authority comes through them. So that's Ms. Lawson, who you'll be hearing from in a future Industry Day presentation. So I'll just jump right in. I'll start with that first contract there, the N0017810D6066U0D1. That cost plus incentive fee material management support task order was issued to GVI Incorporated in May of 2016, expires in May of 2021, and follow-on regional task orders that I'll discuss a little bit later are in planning now. This is the largest of our 5 material management support contracts. It provides OM&S and warehouse operations support at 7 of the 10 warfare centers, including surface warfare centers in Corona, Port Hueneme, Panama City, Indian Head, Carter Rock, Philadelphia, and Dahlgren. And, you know, material management kind of means, in one sense, what you might think it means. It means receiving, accepting, stowing, picking, packing, shipping, disposing, but all within a Navy ERP environment. So all of those things are transactions that have to be captured in the Navy ERP system and are subject to audit. Next contract you see there is N0017810D6066 N401. That is a cost plus fixed fee material management support task order issued in June of 2016, expiring May of 21. However, a follow-on task order is planned for this May due to changing requirements at the NUWC Division Newport site, which that contract supports. Again, it is for the same material management as the larger one, just at the Newport site. Next contract you see there is N0017809D5794, task order N6572619F3000. And for those of you who don't know, if you'll notice, the contract above has a task order number that's just 4 places, N401. This one has an F order number. It's just because we've changed the way that we've numbered them going forward. So going forward, you will see under all the SeaPort task orders, the delivery or all the SeaPort contracts, the delivery or task orders will be an F order number. So that 19F3000 is a firm fixed price material management support contractor contract issued to Patricio Enterprises in April of 2019, expires in April 22, and a follow-on is planned for December of 21. Next slide. That N0017804D4100U0D1, that is the first of 2 of our information technology support orders. It's cost plus fixed fee. It includes things like operations and sustainment and architecture, system analysis, and subject matter experts in support of many of the NAVC LogSend managed IT systems that Beth talked about earlier, the supplier performance systems like CPARS, FAPIS, PEDREP, the level 1 sub-safe engineering support systems like EIS and ESRS, our own eForms program, and then of course the Flying Arrow program. The next contract is the N001710D6066U0D2. That is a cost plus fixed fee logistics and engineering support task order issued to GDI Inc. in June of 2016, and it expires this August. The follow-on task order is planned for July. And it includes services such as integrated product support, configuration management, supply management, maintenance planning management, logistics policy process assessments, in-service engineering and technical support, in support of such things as the PMS program, the level 1 subsafe, inventory preparedness, HM&E standardization, readiness-based sparing, and our own command operations. The next task order on the list there is N0017804D4100 and 6572618F3000. That is a cost plus incentive fee information technology support support order issued to Orbis Cibro Inc. in April of 2018 and expires in April of 2023. It's relatively new, so the follow-on is not in planning at this time. It provides operations and sustainment and architecture system analysis and subject matter expertise in support of NAWC 06 managed IT systems and some NAWC LogSend projects. These systems include things like the outfitting system, so ICAPS, Orcus, BPS, Romus, parts, SkillSys systems, ADIS, CDM, VOA, RadWeb, data center operations, information assurance, command and MCI support, model-based product support efforts. Next slide, Dave. So slide 5, these are our non-SeaPort contracts and some of our SAP actions. So the first contract listed there, N0016420C1004. That is a firm fixed price material management contract that is issued to Nakafuna Solutions in December of 2019, expires in January of 22. This was a direct 8A award. A follow-on task order contract is planned for September 21. And again, I'll discuss that a little bit later, the follow-on contracts. It provides support for what we call a fence line inventory of operating materials and supplies at all 10 of the NAWC warfare centers and their detachments or satellite sites. So the goal is to ensure that once the fence line inventory is complete, the Warfare Center site has all material underneath the Warfare Center Property Management Division and meets fire requirements. So the next contract there is N65726-18C0002, also a firm fixed price material management contract issued to Gold Belt Frontier in August of 2018, expires in August of 2022. It was also a direct 8A award, and it provides for the warehouse operations support at Naval Surface Warfare Center, Dahlgren. Our SAP buys is generally less than around $500,000 a year. They cover such items as software licenses, maintenance renewals, office equipment, cell phones, furniture, training. Due to our small number of actions each year, NAWC LogSend does not maintain a staff in its contracts department to process these requirements. So in the interest of efficiency and economy, our SAP actions are processed by NUWC Division Keyport's contracting department, as they are our higher echelon contracting authority. So moving on to slide 6, just to talk briefly about our planned contract actions. As you can see on the slide, there are 9 of them, as Ms. Warner also referenced, all of which are planned to be awarded to small businesses. The first 3 that you see on the slide, I'm only putting them there for reference purposes since they have gone past the point of an RFP being issued. I won't discuss them further here, but I'm showing you that information so that you can see those follow-ons are happening that I discussed earlier. Then we have material management support follow-on actions. So in addition to the OMNS Newport follow-on action I previously discussed, NAWC LogSend currently has 6 other material management support task orders planned. We have the large, I said earlier, the large material management support order, the N0017810D6066 task order U0D1 is going to be replaced with 3 regional support task orders. They will cover all Warfare Center sites and any Warfare Center satellite sites in a region. This decision to use these regional orders was made to ensure better competition for the requirements within each region. So when I say that they'll cover all Warfare Center sites, it could be that a northern region, Newport, for example, could have a satellite site in California. That Newark Newport satellite site will be covered by the western region, vice the northern region support order. And the sources sought has been issued for all three of these, and it details exactly what locations are covered by each of the, they're divided up by state actually, so what states are covered by each region. Once those are awarded, they will be transferred back to the Naval Sea Logistics Center for administration. They were moved out because we had some manpower, unexpected manpower shortages, so we needed some help, and Newark Newport was kind enough to take on the northern requirement for us, and Newark Corona is taking on the southern and the western regional material management support orders. So we also have the OMNS Fence Line Defense Line Follow-on Contract Task Order. That's going to be a 5-year task order. It will remain in the Small Business Administration's 8A program. As many of you that are aware of that program, it would be very difficult to try and get it out once it's in. But a decision specifically on how they'll be awarded with the 8A program has not yet been made. The OMNS NSLC Dahlgren Follow-on Task Order is a planned follow-on to current N65726-18C0002, which I discussed a little earlier. That was a sole source. This follow-on action, my plan is to make it a competitive 8A award within the SeaPort portal. OMNS Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane Task Order follow-on. This is a 5-year requirement as well. And this requirement will remain in the Small Business Administration Section 8A program and will be competed as well within SeaPort, as was the current order, by the way. It was a competitive 8A. So are there pending any questions? That is the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Frank. I'll be checking for some questions right now, and while I'm checking, I think Kathy may have another poll question that she could pop up.
Dave, there's been a couple of people who have had their hand raised, and I've sent them a chat to remind them. They just need to put their questions in chat. I'm going to lower their hands right now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And Dave, this is Tiffany. I do see a question in the chat about, it says from Keith, does NAVC use OTAs, other transaction authorities?
All right, thank you for that question, Keith. So NAVC does use OTAs. Our Newark Newport has an OTA, and I believe the Naval Surface Warfare Center at Crane uses an OTA, and Newark Keyport is going into the OTA business. We have a range of the future, which will be using the Newport OTA. So we're still pretty new at it at Keyport, but we're testing the waters by leveraging the Newark Newport OTA.
And Dave, you had another question from Eric McGregor. Is the GVI N401 inventory management work referenced currently in source selection?
All right, I'll let Frank answer that one. Frank, are you still on?
I am on. I'm not sure I understand the question. So you're asking me, so there's two GVI material management support orders. And are you asking me if that support contract was referenced in the sources sought that was released?
Meaning, has the RFP closed on this and is it pending award?
Oh, no. The regional task order follow-ons, the only thing that's happened with those is sources soughts have been issued and closed. So they haven't even been solicited yet, but they will be soon.
He says, understood, thanks.
Great. And Nick, you had a question as far as the contracts that were suggested, or that were talked about during the NSLC briefing. And so those are Seaport task orders. So if you wanted to see
Six of them.
Right. And if you wanted to see those Seaport task orders, you have to be a Seaport MAC holder, multiple award contract holder. Other than that, you will not see them posted on beta.sam or any of the other solicitation notice vehicles that are out there. Seaport, if you're not currently a Seaport holder, they will open up a rolling admissions. They typically do it every 2 years. So right now they're looking at the first quarter of 2021 to open it up for new contractors to get in with an award probably third or fourth quarter of 2021. That's the most recent schedule that I've heard. So again, the contracts that the NSLC was talking about, those task orders, for the OMNS management and their IT support, those will be on Seaport, and you have to be a Seaport MAC holder to prime those. Right. If you want to contract. Oh, go ahead, Frank.
I will say there is a possibility that the fence line to fence line, the 5-year follow-on, that may not be a Seaport action. It is not right now. I'm looking into making it a Seaport action for the follow-on, but frankly, I may not be able to. So it may not be a Seaport action. It may be, what we call an open market solicitation. But it will be within the 8A program because it's in there now.
Great, thank you. And then I see a question from Christopher Burt. How does NUWC Keyport read in their classified future requirements to industry? And Christopher, I don't have an answer off the top of my head. I'll have to take that one for action and get back with you. Sorry, I don't have an answer.
So Dave, can you let folks know where the videos are located and when you anticipate having the PowerPoints posted and where?
Great. So the videos are hosted on YouTube right now. So you can go to YouTube and look for the NUWC Keyport channel, and you could subscribe and get the latest videos. But anyway, they are posted on the NUWC Keyport YouTube channel. Also, I'm going to put my video back on. Sorry about that. The NSLC Mechanicsburg video, that will be posted on YouTube later, I'm sure. It's not on there right now, as we just received it earlier today, but I'm sure that'll be posted. The slides will be posted these slides will be posted on the NUWC Keyport homepage. So if you just did a Google search for NUWC Keyport, you'll find our homepage, and there's a tab called Resources, and that's where we would put the slides, and we also put our service contract forecast should be posted there as well. But that's where they'll be posted, and I'll get these posted as soon as possible.
Okay, this is Kathy. I'm not seeing any other questions. So I think unless people have final thoughts.
So
Oh,
I'll just ask, I could repeat where these will be posted. So they'll be posted on the NUWC Division Keyport Naval Undersea Warfare Center Division Keyport website. And there'll be a tab for resources, and it'll be posted in the resources tab. And you could just Google search Naval Undersea Warfare Center Keyport, or if you want, you could just send me an email and I will send you the link to our website. And so this concludes our session. This is session 1 of the 2020 NUWC Keyport Industry Day Engagement Series. I hope you can join us next week on the 27th of May at the same time, 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. And we're going to look a little bit deeper into our corporate operations department. And you'll learn a little bit more about them. And also, just like what Frank shared about the contracts, you'll learn more about the contracts that they have. And before signing off, I would like to thank our speakers one last time. Captain Moretti, Dr. Irvin, Ms. Warner, and Frank Dugan, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to support this industry engagement. I'd also like to thank our Washington State Procurement Technical Assistance Center for providing us the support and the platform for us to have our virtual industry day. So thank you so much, PTAC. As we talked earlier, the sessions, this session and all the sessions are going to be recorded, and the slide decks will also be available. We'll be posting those on our website. If you have any questions in regards to any of the contracts, or if you just want to schedule a one-on-one meeting to learn more about opportunities, please contact me, David Walls, and I could provide you my email address, and you know, we could go ahead and schedule that. But this concludes our first session, and appreciate everybody for taking their time out and joining us and learning more about Keyport and Mechanicsburg. And I hope you join us next week and in the following weeks ahead. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave.